Not sure.
I think it's going on all, so we're using Streamlabs to stream. Oh, they're already in the chat room. Do you have any transitions or? We're here. We're here. We're live, and it's Lance here coming at you in a red T-shirt with my boy John.
Not quite Lance.
Not quite Lance.
No.
I've become suitably less handsome. Too much less handsome. I'm of course Ryan, as you all know.
Doctor.
Yes, Dr. Ryan.
Dr. Ryan.
Dr. Ryan. I just graduated yesterday, so.
Diagnosis murder, Dr. Ryan.
Murder! I think eat a couple paracetamol for that, and you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll wake right up. You'll be fine. Lance can join us today. So
Lance is gallivanting.
He's gallivanting in County Fermanagh. Last I heard from him. So
climbing mountains and all sorts, hasn't he?
He climbed 20,000 steps. Maybe that might be an exaggeration, but I'm going to say it's 20,000. I climbed 20,000 steps and I have a gorgeous view at the top. Who's
20,000 leagues.
20,000 leagues. Oh, he's a Superman. Him and his fiance. So yeah, it's on me to be the neophyte today for all this painting.
Awesome. You're the captain of the ship now, Ryan.
Oh my goodness!
You're the captain, but you're the first day on the job.
First day on the job, and I see an iceberg very closely.
I need to get a bit closer to that.
Yeah, I need to see exactly what's happening with that iceberg. Yeah. But yes, what I want to talk about first is we have a Hobby Lab Open Challenge.
Do you want to bring it up as a browser? Do you have it available as a browser? Or have you forgotten to do that?
I've forgotten to do that. I can do that very, very quickly.
Yeah.
If I do some super duper magic here.
Yep.
And wait for it to load. And scroll down this way. And wait for it, guys. It's this one. Yeah. So we have a terrain challenge called The End Is Now. The theme is apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic. Mm-hmm. And the start is the 23rd of June, and the end date is the 31st of August. Yep. And the prizes is team up with Foreground.
Foreground, yeah.
And you could win one of 4 £50 vouchers for their store. And so there's 4 categories that you could win in. It's best idea, best skill, best tutoring, and junior. So all entries must be in the project system, tagged as the terrain challenge, and must be linked through to a forum topic 4 collection. Mm-hmm. John, are you going to enter this year?
I would like to have. I have an idea in my head, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do it.
Okay. What about you, Ben?
I'm quite tempted to, because we had a little chat about it on the weekend just gone, and we're talking about. I was thinking about doing some kind of deathly battlefield where the end is nigh because all the men are dead and that kind of thing. So I might try and do
a post-battle terrain.
Yeah, so lots of spears stuck in ground, banners in the air, mud, blood, guts, bodies, that kind of thing.
That sounds amazing. Yeah.
Kind of turning the end is nigh thing on its head a little bit and doing something a bit different with it.
Yeah, it's like
I'd actually thought of doing it in another way, because the idea I had was, do you remember from Terminator 3 that I know the movie is rubbish, alright, so don't even start commenting on that, but the moment at the end of Terminator 3 where the nukes finally launch,
yeah,
and you see like all the big green fields in the States, and there's like little farmhouses and stuff, and through all that you see all these nukes coming up. I actually wanted to make a piece of terrain like 15 mil or something, with a little farmhouse and a nuke coming out of the silo from beside it. I thought that's very apocalyptic.
Yeah,
that's like the
that's
iconic
like
sort of Terminator.
The apocalypse is starting. Y'all better get ready. Yeah. That's awesome. That's a cool idea.
I felt like I wanted to do that, but time resources are a premium for me at the minute.
I don't know if the community demands it. I don't know if you
they
want to type in the comments. Yeah.
Obviously, I can't win anything, but yeah, it's fun.
As Sundance says in the comments, yes, my idea is basically a metal festival. Yeah.
Perfect. That's awesome. Fantastic. Have you been working on anything recently, John?
Well, we went to
Battlefront Open Day?
We went to the Battlefront Open Day, yes.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. I got dragged into judging the painting competition.
Awesome.
The 2 judges came over, and one of the Battlefront staff went, "This is John from Beasts of War, he'll help." And I was like, oh, okay. It just shoved me over to him. But we went there, we arrived in England on the Friday night, and we thought, let's go to Warhammer World. John and Colin wasn't overly enthusiastic. he was just like, yeah, okay. we got there and the experience was closed, so we couldn't walk through the miniatures halls and stuff. But the shops were still open, and I just said, well, shopping it is then.
Did you buy many things? Did you spend all the monies?
I spent a lot of money.
Oh dear.
Spent a lot of money on 3 items.
Because you just recently got paid as well.
Yeah,
so
the pay was in that morning, which was very dangerous.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying my very first Imperial Knight for 40k. So I've been working on that the past few days since we got back. I started building it the night I got back. And
Timmy's first Imperial Knight comes with Nerf gun accessories.
It was fun because it's the Knight Castellan, which is the biggest one you can do in plastic. And I was like, I have to have this as more of a. This was what I bought the first time I went to Warhammer World sort of thing, so it has a bit of sentimental value to it. Because I like owning stuff that has a bit of sentimentality to it. Not a lot, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. And apart from that, I've been working on some other vlog content, which I'm still not going to talk about.
Oh, it's super secret?
It's kind of super secret. It's not really super secret, but it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. People are going to enjoy it. Well, I have already seen a few people doing the exact same thing on the projects, but you know.
Well, maybe delete those projects and
just delete those. They never existed.
No, never.
Right, shall we get into something to look at?
Yes.
I've let Ryan pick these, so.
Oh, and when I was picking them, I said to Ben, "Here, Ben, could you pick these?" And so Ben has picked.
So this is the hangout with Ben's decisions.
Exactly. Hang out with Ben's decisions.
So prepare yourself for 2 hours of Burrows and Badgers.
Fantastic! I still don't know what Burrows and Badgers is, but I feel like that's a dangerous question because I think you might talk about it for quite a while, Ben.
Yeah.
But I think we'll leave that for the weekend. I think.
Yeah.
Sunday.
This scene.
Is it that scene?
Let's find out.
Let's click it and see what happens.
Oh, I got it right. Yes. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Don't come back, Lance. I got this sorted. Ben, we are looking at Exploring Lioness from Woolsong.
Yeah. So this is a project by 144 Artist, and I wanted to bring this up because we had a couple of people talking about this in the forums and saying that they'd really like to see us looking back towards some more Woolsong stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a few bits and bobs in the pipeline coming up and things like that. But I wanted to show off these because it was a fantastic way of exploring the different characters and the different colours and things that you can get when you're putting together a Woolsong warband. Because as you can see here, you've got some guys that look, typically steampunky, in here as well. Yeah. But then you've got people that are a lot brighter, a lot brasher, and everything like that as well. Yeah. And the basing for these is just fantastic too.
I'm just noticing the basing on this, and this is where I show up my full cadet status. This red person here. I love the basing on that kind of pebble dash. Right there, it's beautiful.
Very cobblestone-esque.
Cobblestone, that's what I'm looking for, not pebble dash, cobblestone.
Pebble dash would be very sore to walk on.
So is this a kind of flat surface, and they've given the impression of cobblestones, or what do you think? Well,
this looks like a basing material or potentially a resin cast base. What do you think, Ben?
I think these are from the Microwatt's own range, so I believe they're some of the resin bases that have been picked up from the same guys that made Woolsong and used for the models here, which look very cool. So, yeah, because it's quite. That's one of the nice things about it, that they create the game world and they've designed it so that you can, you've got very nice terrain that you can use specifically for the game, and you've got nice basing materials as well. So, it's very good. Yeah.
I keep on, when we were preparing for the stream, I keep on coming back to the umbrella guy because he looks super cool. He looks a little bit like a taller version of the Penguin from Batman.
His pose is kind of like a male Mary Poppins.
Yeah, yes.
Weirdly, that segues me into something that I heard about last week on Facebook. It's got nothing to do with models, but that Danny DeVito played Penguin in Batman Forever, I believe.
Oh, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns, yeah. And he has that ridiculous top hat that he wears. Turns out every single film that Danny DeVito has been in with the guy that did that Batman film, whose name I've forgotten now.
It's not Tim Burton.
Tim Burton,
Did he direct Batman Returns, or was it just the first Batman?
maybe it was the first one, maybe it's the second one. But either way, whichever one he appears in, he always has a massive top hat, regardless. And there was all these memes of Danny DeVito be like, "Don't worry, Tim, I'll bring my top hat."
I love that.
I need to be a creepy villain. I'll bring my top hat.
Maybe that director just loves it when Danny DeVito gains a bit of hype from the top hat. So he's like, "Yeah, we gotta get you in frame a bit more. So put in that top hat." Yeah, that's really cool. And what is this on the base? I don't know if it's that.
Is that a leaf?
So I thought, going on the penguin theme, I thought that was like a flipper. Like from a penguin that had been cut off. Like this guy is just a murderer, murdering penguins left, right, and center. And I thought those were like flippers that he cut off because he's not a cool guy.
It's good. It's good to have you here, Ryan.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a leaf, maybe a flipper.
It'll let you believe whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, use your imagination, kids.
Yep. Has he got much else here? He does.
Yeah, he's got a few more here. So I love this guy.
It's closer for the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, the guy in the wheelchair.
Yep. I can't remember his name though, but he's like
I think
really.
it's Zachary Fiercebatten, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's got quite the blunderbuss, and what an awesome steampunk chair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got even a wee stabilizer wheel on the back. That's cool.
He's independent enough to not need someone to push him around, I guess.
That's it, right? That's he's got a mechanized wheelchair, I imagine. Oh, okay. This guy's down my street because he's obviously a fencer, and I'm also a fencer.
Mm-hmm.
But his blade looks a lot heavier than the kind of
the foil,
the thin pokey one that I'd be using. So
they're
I was going to say, is his stance working out, Ryan?
His stance, he looks as if he's in a bit of a lazy lunge. To be honest, like he's in a bit of a lazy lunge. He doesn't really care. He's not pushing it and extending it as he could. But yeah, he's kind of laissez-faire about it. But yeah, you're right. It's there's 3 swords actually. There's the foil, the épée, and the saber. The first 2 are like stabby, and the last one is slashy.
Yeah.
Good
technical terms.
Good technical terms. Yeah, that's what we like to talk about. That's how we like to bring people into it. Slashy, stabby. That's it. And,
the butler with the cup of tea is
yeah, it's like the butler from Tomb Raider, where you lock him in the fridge.
That was Tomb Raider 2, wasn't it?
Yeah,
where he just followed you around your house all the time.
Yeah, he was the creepiest. Like I remember going in that fridge to try and lure him in, and then I turned around, and he was right there in your face, and I jumped 9 miles. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Have we been remembering to hit those little buttons as well on the project?
Oh, the little buttons.
Oh, smash them likes and
smash them likes and stuff. Yeah.
Smash them likes on the top of the project. Yes, I think. There's a lot of skill that's gone into this. Maybe?
I think it needs anything. It needs a skill vote.
A skill vote.
Mm-hmm.
Totes. All right.
Totes my goat.
Totes my goat. Totally. All right. Shall we move on to the next project?
I think we should. Yeah.
We shall.
Shall we go to jail? All right. Cypher 2009 on Chain of Command. 15mm. So what are we looking at here?
Oh, there's a gun carrier.
Oh, so this is you in your element.
Oh, this is me.
Talk us through it, John. Talk us through it.
So, well, let's read the post actually. Let's go up.
Okay.
So yeah, this was an interesting one I wanted to pick up because obviously we've played a lot of Chain of Command anyway in our videos with Two Fat Lardies in 28mm and sort of 20 to 28mm. So it's nice seeing someone create something that's done in 15mm because it shows that the game, definitely works in those different scales, which is very cool. So, and he's gone to some really nice detail showing off the army as well. So,
I've heard people saying that Chain of Command works across multi-scale and it is very good for the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
So. Can I ask a very basic question?
Yes.
So the difference in scale between 15mm and 28mm and all that sort of stuff, what is it? The difference between models made for certain games, or is there a kind of functional point, or is it more from a painting perspective that different scales or different sizes of models are important?
It's largely down to what game. Well, for the way I perceive it, it's what game suits what scale.
Okay.
So, for example, you see a lot of 6mm figures that are put into the likes of the Napoleonics or American Civil War. That's because the armies are vast.
Yeah.
And if you want to play a big campaign game, you don't want figures that are 2 inches tall because it will take up the size of a warehouse just to have the army.
Okay, cool.
Whereas in 6mm you can do it in a lot more feasible sort of way.
Interesting, okay.
So it's whatever scale. Like Chain of Command when we were playing it with two fat lordies, it was 28mm because it's more skirmishy.
Okay.
So you're having a closer view of the battlefield. So you're only going to get 20, 30 guys moving around anyway. So
interesting. Does the different scale, does it change how you approach painting?
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it can do.
So like with a 6mm figure, you're not focusing that much on detail because it's just
No. And Commodore Rob, if he's probably not in the chat at the minute, I think he's busy, but he would tell you that the smaller scale easier to paint because there's just less to do.
Yeah, you're just on an assembly line, just get them done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So take us through what we're looking at then, John.
Well, this is a British Universal Brengan carrier.
Okay.
I should know that because I've studied Brengan carriers until I'm sick of them. So he's got a little base going on here. I like that. I like the fact you can take the vehicle off, which is kind of cool. It's like if the crew dismount, the vehicle goes away. That's pretty cool. Go on down a little bit. Let's have a look. Little anti-tank gun.
Beautiful.
I like 15mm infantry on individual bases. It would fry my brain though, because if I lost one guy, it would be really annoying. So he's got a lot of painting guide and stuff in there too.
Fantastic.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would like to mark this guy.
This one.
I think tutor. I think.
Oh, these are. Was it supposed to?
Yeah, I think tutoring and skill are really good on this.
Skill. Let's get skill, and then let's tutor the heck out of this, guys. Fantastic.
Very good stuff.
All right.
I'd like to see that army completely done.
Oh yeah. So.
I'd like to also see how Chain of Command plays at 15mm.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that maybe Cypher, if he carries on with this and shows off the painting when he gets to the the finished product, we'll maybe see a battle report showing off how it plays in 15mm.
Oh,
So I think it'd be nice to see how that works, because it kind of gives you that almost overview of it being more of like a tactical overview game, like an old school sort of RTS thing, which would be pretty cool. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nice.
On to Valor and Victory, 1918 edition. Oh, these are beautiful.
So this is from Oriskany. And so he did a article series with us not long ago, which was all about gaming in 1918 and during World War One. And one of the big things that Oriskany loves doing is playing things from almost like an operational sort of high-level command view when he's playing his games. So what he's done is he's gone in and he's designed this set for the French to be used during that sort of period in Valor and Victory. And so you can see here all the work that he's done putting into like the markers for all the different units, which are looking exceptionally complicated. But I'm sure that they're not that bad once you get to know them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, that's a football formation. No, wait, hang on, we're in 1918, man. We're in 1918, World War One. Oh my, that's a lot of work he's put in. That's phenomenal.
You see, from the level of gaming that Oriskany likes to do, you're not moving an individual squad. You're moving a regiment at a time, or you're moving a division at a time, and there's a lot of stuff that from that high vantage point, there's a lot of stuff to manage.
So is he looking at, going back to our previous conversation, is that more 6mm stuff or smaller scale stuff?
This is no miniature at all.
Oh, right,
This is, if you could make the miniatures...
Chits and hexes, as it were.
Ah, okay, cool.
If the miniatures were to scale on the map he was doing, it would essentially be walking up with a hypodermic needle and poking a dot in the map.
Okay. Cool.
But the interesting thing about this is that this is a kind of level of gameplay that... And not only do you see people doing things in this kind of scale with chits and counters and that kind of thing, but you'll see people, if they play something like Command and Colours, which is one of the games we've talked about recently in some articles, people will take the chits and then they'll occasionally go and find things like 6mm figures or 10mm figures and they'll replace them. So it kind of works. You can use models to do that kind of representation thing, because one of the big things that obviously in 28mm most of the time we expect it to be that guy is that, a dude is a dude. But once you start to scale it down to lesser numbers, then a regiment or a unit that might only have 10 men in it is meant to represent 100 or 1,000 like that. So you get that kind of representation, and that's sort of a little bit more of a level of abstraction at this level, which is cool. So but yeah, very nice.
Nice. I don't really want to give that an idea because that's Krager. Brilliant.
I just want to. Doug the Fug was saying in chat that he's picked up the Last Days rules by Ash Barker, which is the new set of zombie survival skirmish rules that have come out from Osprey recently. I'd be very interested to hear how that plays. So if he plays it and he's got some things he wants to talk about with the game, I'd like to see him do a forum topic on that one.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, because it sounds awesome from
Yeah.
from what people have talked about in articles and stuff. So I'd like to hear his opinions if he can.
Yeah, make a wee forum post there, Doug. Class. Alright, what do we got next? Painting all the Shadespire warbands. Okay. Oh my.
Yeah, so this is Uther Dracus, who's not only just painting one warband, but all the warbands from Shadespire. And I believe in this project here, he's got the 2 of the Stormcast Eternal ones, and also 2 of the Chaos ones as well.
So you get closer. Oh my.
Yeah, the Chaos ones look really good. That basing, again, that's the base that comes with them, if I'm correct, Ben. Yeah.
It is, yes.
It's just really nicely done.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's really nice seeing someone painting up Khorne in less of their typical red as well. So we're seeing someone do it in like heavy, dirty metallics, which I thought was really awesome. Because red is fine, and I've painted a lot of Khorne guys in my time, and I quite like the idea of doing them in big, in red. But it's always nice to see someone do something a little bit different, especially with these warbands that are a little bit more personalised and sort of focused around like individual characters, which is very cool. So it almost gives them like a Chaos Undivided look to them, which I thought was nice. So
fantastic. I was actually editing some of the Celestial miniature painting videos that we were putting out, and I think it was Francesco was talking about the 2-tone job he did on his miniature. So this work here, that's 2-tone black and gold. He's just using those 2 as kind of the primary colours to
and work everything else off those 2 colours then.
Okay. Excellent.
That's brilliant.
So would you when you're painting miniatures yourself, John or Ben, would you stick to 2 tones, or would you, because it's simpler, or is there a lot of depth and complexity about matching colours with those 2 tones outside of that, or?
It's project to project basis.
Yeah. Okay.
The decisions are based on the miniature you're painting at the time, I think.
Cool. Okay.
For the most part, anyway.
Yeah.
Although the current project I'm working on in here, which will be rolling out very soon, is basically every colour that's picked has colour, shade and highlight. So like there's 3 steps to every material that's being covered.
that's cool. Yeah.
Which has given a really nice effect, Ben. You already know what it looks like, so...
Yes.
Can we get a tease as to what it is?
No.
Nope. Rude. I had a skill on that. Oh man.
The thing that really stuck out for me with this project, sorry Ryan, is the basing. I just think because I was talking last week about how I don't like painting sculpted bases, but I think it's only badly sculpted bases.
Yeah.
Whereas, because these ones are very, very nice, and they've turned out exceptionally well, even between both the Stormcast and the Khorne guys as well. So.
Beautiful. I thought this was just lava running in between the stones, but it's not just lava. It's lava with skulls in it.
Yep.
There's an extra level of detail there.
That is the biggest GW trope that has continued through all the years.
Skulls everywhere, or skulls through lava?
Skulls everywhere.
Skulls everywhere.
Last year, or maybe the year before, they even did a pack that was just a sprue of skulls for you to put on things. So they fully invested themselves in the skull nature of their business.
I used to play Warhammer Fantasy RPG with a few friends,
and
we were chasing after like these artifacts left behind by Khorne the Blood God, and one of them was, I think it was a skull, but the skull kept on disappearing from the box and running through the floating through the forest. And I was like, "Get back here, you creepy skull! This is not fun." I was getting scared. It was only a tabletop RPG, but I was like, "This is too creepy, man. I'm not having this."
Like Murray, the demon skull from Monkey Island.
Yes, precisely.
Just with a little bit more blood and bloodthirsty guts, and
that's it. Yeah, a little bit more mischievous, I think. I love the doggo here, the demon doggo. It's got like, you know, the dinosaur from the first Jurassic Park that had the kind of fins, or not the fins, but the kind of big neck that came out.
Big neck thing.
Too creepy right here. Excellent. I love it. Skill. Oh no. There we go. These are brilliant. I love also this guy.
Dilophosaurus, I believe it was called.
Ah, yes. Do you know what? I think there's actually that dinosaur is in a game that we're gonna shoot a let's play of coming up soon, Dino World. So it's gonna be Good to see. I love
Very
this. I love this model in the bottom left because it
The
reminds me
Chaos
of...
dude with the mouth for a chest.
Yeah, the mouth for a chest because it reminds me of some of the Reinhardt skins in Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
So you get like the big lion.
Cold Heart, or
Yeah, Cold Heart or Lionheart, even with a big lion in the middle of his
Yep.
chest. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a really nice facial detail on that guy in the middle. You know, the guy with the bare head. I think he's done a really good job there picking out the facial details. And then, like, the slightly rawer skin on the head where the horns are starting to poke through and the mutations are taking place.
That's
It's very
really
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice models. Very nice
Yeah.
models. And I like the fact that they've been rimmed in that red, just so that for gameplay purposes.
Yep.
Yeah.
A nice sort of indicator as to which ones are yours and stuff. That's
In
cool.
case you don't know, the guys with red bases are cool.
In case you didn't recognize the skulls or anything, or that. Yeah.
Let's go down because we have the Stormcast here to look at as well.
Ah, fantastic. Let's take a look. Oh,
Their basing is brilliant.
that's phenomenal.
It's really well done.
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love even he's got the lines in the tree trunk
Mhm.
to indicate his age. That's class. And
I will just criticize the fact that they're gold, but that's because they're gold.
what color are Stonecats usually supposed to be?
Gold.
Oh,
that's,
okay.
that's the thing. The gold color scheme is a very common thing, and we're trying to break away from that a little bit.
okay.
But well executed. I'm not going to critique that.
Yeah,
at all.
it's beautiful. For me, I wouldn't be able to begin comprehending how you could start to like put the shading on the top knot here, the hair.
Yeah.
Like where do you even start with that? Or do you even consider, like, when you're painting your walls, do you consider like under them, like, because you're always going to look from a top-down perspective, so
yeah.
do you really
Always,
put as much detail into, like, say your man's undercarriage here on the left hand side?
Yeah.
You would go in the inside and maybe paint it a bit more navy for the shades?
Perhaps, or
Oh,
just
okay.
or on purpose paint the inner recesses black, just so that it
okay.
looks like something has been done.
Oh, okay,
Even
yeah.
if it's just a black coat, just to tidy it up.
Oh, okay, cool. There's a good action shot.
Digging
One
the
of the-
eagle.
One of the interesting points on like painting miniatures, just because that's the like area that you see them. Back in the day, a lot of the models that were done for White Dwarf magazine were only ever painted from the front, so the back was just undercoat white or undercoat black.
Oh, okay.
Because they are only ever going to be photographed from the front anyway. And so when anyone would walk into the Citadel Hall of Fame, they'd see all these models that were basically like they'd just been like shot with a paint gun on the front, and everything on the back was undercoated. It was quite funny, but
Fantastic.
yeah, that's a proper like American bald eagle style bird done there, isn't it? It's like-
Can we get
America.
Yeah, America, yes. 1776 will happen again. America.
That's very much a freedom bird. That's all I'm going to say.
Freedom bird. He when he flaps his wings, freedom expels from him. Can we? Maybe we can get a name for the bird, a suggested nickname for the bird in the comments. What do you think, John?
Archibald.
Flappy McFreedom bird.
Archibald.
Flappy McFreedom.
Archibald. He's a bald eagle. Archibald.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Flappy McFreedom Bird.
It's like Buddy McBoatface. Flappy McFreedom. I see no problems with this.
Recon says Tweety. There we go.
Alright,
So-
that's it. Like, in comments, what do you prefer? Archibald or Flappy McFreedom?
You're cheating. You're putting the...
Gianna says justice. There we go.
Justice. Oh, do you know what? Justice is cool, actually. I like
Gianna,
Justice.
of course, you would call the bird Justice.
Well, it is the 4th of July today,
Yeah,
so
they are celebrating over there in what once was colonialism.
The former colonies. Yes, happy 4th of July. Is anybody watching? Hopefully you get to see many Flappy McFreedoms on your 4th of July.
Or sparkly explosions.
Sparkly explosions, yeah. More colloquial terms, sparkly explosions.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Who's this dude here?
That is one of the shade. That's like the commander leader of one of the Shadespire factions or one of the teams.
Cool.
yeah,
He
he's
was
the leader
actually-
of the original. Cadet.
Yeah. He was actually the test mini I did for upcoming
He is,
project.
Okay.
He's Steelheart. That's his name.
Steelheart. Fantastic. I love the the detail of the lightning bolts on his breastplate there, and then I think you were pointing out earlier, Ben, the blue rim on the base, just to indicate for gameplay purposes. That's a nice little bit of detail.
It's a nice touch instead of just painting the rim of the base either black or brown or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It adds a bit more colour to it.
Yeah, and I imagine another GW thing is weapons bigger than the people themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Do you know, actually, Sam was telling me one time, Sam Poots, he goes to HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts, on a Friday night, and he was telling me about this Portuguese sword, which was bigger than him, that he had to learn to fight with. I can't remember the name of it, but it was pretty cool. Those are cool. I'm going to give these all skills, because they're beautiful.
You have been skilling it the whole way down.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm just
You're
making sure.
done with that.
I also want to point out a couple of Archibald.
Flappy McArchbald.
I like that, Manda. Perfect. Phenomenal. Shall we move on to the next project?
Yes. Let's carry on. I think yeah.
Yes. Fantastic. This was one I was actually looking forward to very much so. Harry Potter miniatures game painting guides.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. No celebrity.
You're a Hizzard, Larry.
You're a Hizzard, Larry. Fantastic. So I wonder if it's... So we've got Malfoy, Crab and Goyle here. Mm-hmm. And though green is my favourite colour, I just cannot support the Slytherins. They're just too evil, man. Have you got sorted into your Harry Potter house?
No.
Do you not like
I'm
Harry Potter?
Hufflepuff for the win.
You're Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Who's taking-
Nice, charming, kind, lovely Hufflepuff.
Do you know what?
Don't.
Do you know what I always made fun of my friends when they were like, yeah, I'm a Hufflepuff and I'm proud. And I'm like, haha, loser. But actually, when I was rereading the books last year or the year before, they're actually incredibly loyal and great friends, and what a wonderful quality to have, Ben.
And we don't get embroiled in all the silly goings on. We just carry on with our work and do what we need and go out in nature and enjoy animals and weird magic plants and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
sure. Us Gryffindors will
smoking definitely not weed.
No, long bottom leaf.
Long bottom leaf. Neville long bottom leaf.
That's it. Neville long bottom leaf. Yes, us Gryffindors will just we got your back. Then us Gryffindors will just save the world as usual.
You can save the world, and we'll be there to patch you up after.
That's it. Yeah, you'll be able to sort of
with the clerics of the Harry Potter.
Clerics, yeah. Gryffindors being the paladins, or the barbarians just charge them stupidly forth.
But yeah, I wanted to pick out this project in particular because not only had Valor Andy done some amazing work here, like talking about building things up from black and showing off a really nice way to paint their uniforms, because generally when you look at them in on screen or whatever, they're just like greys and blacks pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to try and get right. So he's done a very nice job here, but he's also gone into detail showing off each of the individual paints that he's used, as well as some of the steps that he's gone through as well. Fantastic. From priming through to highlighting and all that kind of thing, shading and all that kind of thing as well.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, Ben, was if you're painting something like a black cloak here, how do you get shading in there? Like, how do you accentuate the figure with some shading?
Well, it's one of the things we talked about a little bit before, but it's one of the big things we've all talked about. Is black. It's never really black.
Yeah.
So black can be a lot of the time you'll highlight up with very dark blues or greys and slowly work your way up so that you give that sense of depth to it, but also the fact that you've got light shining down onto it as well and things like that. So black is never normally just black. So as Dealer's Death says in the comment, so you can normally start with like a dark grey or a black grey instead and work your way up from there.
Yep.
So
okay.
But the only thing that is definitely black is that new deep cut map. But we'll leave that for another day.
That's brilliant. Oh, I love the blue highlights on this figure here. That's brilliant. I didn't even know there was a Harry Potter miniatures game. I want to.
Yeah, it's from Night Models.
Fantastic. Like, how does it play out? Is it just a skirmish war game or?
It's like a skirmish board game. So you play through scenarios set up on like tiles. It's a little bit like a dungeon delve almost. And you play as the students from Harry Potter going up against like Death Eaters and
Slytherin students.
Death Eaters? Not Death Eaters.
Yeah, Death Eaters.
Yeah, is it Death Eaters? That's what they're called. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, totally. Death Eaters. Yeah.
That's
Fantastic.
because eaters are a thing from the blade itself, and I'm getting them confused. But,
Brilliant.
but yes, very very cool models, and I love the fact that they got so much nice facial in there. It's very nice.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
Hopefully you could hear me there because I think my internet went out.
You did do a hiccup there. So
A hiccup. Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting because I don't paint models at all. Although you were trying to convert me before the stream, Ben. So I painted nothing. I've got no miniatures at all. But it's so interesting for such a layman such as myself to just to see the just base models with just a white color on them, and then you get to, if I can find it, just this here, which is it's absolutely amazing. I don't know. Does it ever? Yeah, it mustn't ever become rote for you guys because there's just so much great work out there. Just amazing paint jobs.
You have to be careful as a miniature painter. Myself, definitely, totally guilty of this. Looking through other people's work and just sitting back in my chair and going, "Why am I bothering?" But I was guilty of that for a long time until I realised, well, hang on, there's always going to be someone better than you.
Mm-hmm.
So just get yourself into your groove. So like army painting in here is kind of the groove that I'm in at the minute. So I know this. I know the style for that. I know the pace for that. I know what to expect from it. And then when I go home, I can look at some of this really good stuff and I can go, what part of this can I take with me tonight to try?
Okay.
So when I'm working on cloth, I'll go, right, let's try this blending and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, fair enough. But you can't, like, sometimes a lot of people would just get overwhelmed by seeing someone else's really good work, and it's not about that at all. It's like looking at it and going, how did they do that, and how did I learn to do that? And there's tons of tutorials out here. Like, we're looking at one right now.
It's
is showing you this quality of work.
It's amazing. What about you, Ben? Like, when you're painting stuff, like, what are you, or when you're looking at stuff out there, like, what are you looking for? What are you getting inspired by?
The thing that really helps me is because I used to be one of these people that was just happy to be able to game with the models. I wasn't that fussed about the painting side of things. So for me, it was good enough to just base paint a model in its standard colours and then just put a wash over it so that it looked like it sort of tied all the colours together, and it kind of gave it the impression that it highlighted the model and stuff like that. But over the last couple of years, I've been painting a lot more single figures and stuff for skirmish games rather than mass battle stuff, and so it's been really nice finding people that are painting things like, for example, these characters here, where a lot more effort goes into going that next step. And I've been trying to level up my painting so that I'm not just relying on a wash to kind of sort the model out for me. I then go back in and do highlighting and all that kind of thing, and you think about where lighting's coming from, all that kind of thing as well. So that's one of the big things for me. And I think one of the big things for someone, for example, if we were going to try and get you into painting or whatever, Ryan, is to find a miniature that you think looks cool. Like if you find a miniature that you really like the look of, then you're more inclined to finish painting it. I believe. So it's one of those things where, regardless of the range it's from or the size or the scale or anything like that, if you find a miniature that you think looks cool, you're more inclined to finish it off and learn more.
So that's your gateway to get in, is just find something you're passionate about and you're interested in seeing the finished product of.
It was the primary reason that I picked up a knight at Warhammer World, because I had a load of infantry models in my hand, and I was like, I'm not going to remember these. I'm going to put them down, and everyone was saying, oh, just buy a knight or something. And I looked at the knights and went, you.
When you say, if you're looking at a model on the shelf and it's just base white or something, do you imagine the colours straight off? Like, can you say, you look at a model like, yes, purple and green because I want something tacky? Or, do you ever think that, or do you take it home and consider it a bit more?
It's difficult for me sometimes, because when I'm trying to do a colour scheme, it's generally for an army. So I'm thinking, I need a strong base colour. I need to figure out what it's going to be highlighted with. I need to know what it's going to be shaded with. But generally the base colour dictates those anyway. So if I go blue, I know a light blue for the highlight and I know a blue wash for the shade. So I'm picking the colours out as I'm going that way. But for example, the scheme that I'm working on at the minute for the upcoming project, I knew straight away, I'd seen a piece of artwork and went, that is the scheme I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do it to the same vibrancy. So in my head I went, how do I lower the vibrancy but still make it punchy?
Yeah.
And then it's picking the colours from there, and then it ended up, I emptied out a half-empty bottle of wash, which I shouldn't have admitted to on camera, and then made the paint, mixed the paint into that bottle, and I actually had that there for the airbrushing steps.
Okay.
So you can look at a model and go, yeah, I know I want to do that, but you might find that halfway through applying that colour you go, I don't like this now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I do a lot of image searches and stuff and go, what does that look like? Or colour swatches and stuff. And
Okay.
Roman has a lot of videos on Beasts of War where he goes through like colour charts and shows you, if you pick this colour, these are the colours that will complement with it and all this. Like, he has this whole colour theory series that he did.
It's very good.
I
It's
love
very
to watch that because I was learning from Francesco, the interview with him. He was talking about color compatibilities and colors that complement each other, and it was fascinating. It's it's so simple when he just explains it, but there's I imagine there's so much depth to it when you add shading. And,
It's like the Imperial Knight that I'm working on. I've got a bone coloured base, and I've went with a really dark red as the accent colour. Those are two very warm colours, so they do complement each other. And then when you add the gold onto them as a trim, you get a very regal, warm-looking, imposing colour scheme.
Interesting. Okay.
But if I'd done something silly like throwing a light blue onto it, it would be very distracting, and you'd always see the blue before your eye took in the whole thing.
Okay.
And you can use that to your advantage as well. You can put a crazy colour onto something just to give it attention, just to draw the eye to a certain part of it.
You've sold me on watching Roman's color theory videos.
You should.
I really,
You really
that's awesome. Fantastic. Shall we go on to another?
I'm just gonna ask a quick question that came up in the comments. So Dealer of Death says, John, I want to make my Astra Militarum, aka Imperial Guard tanks, look more realistic. Any tips for panel highlighting or what to do? So,
Dealer, the best thing I could suggest is when you have the base colours of your tank down, you have your camouflage and all that sort of stuff in there, do what's called a pin wash. Either a very dark brown or a black, either a paint or a wash, thin it right down and put it into the panel lines. You'll see I've done that a few times. I can't remember exactly what I did it on half the time, which is great. Otherwise I could give you better advice. So you pin wash into the panel lines, that gives you that depth into and definition of the shape of different things. And on vehicles, either dry brushing dust on, which is using like an army paint or desert yellow, or a bone colour, or actually a combination of the two. If you do a desert yellow dry brush first along the bottom of the vehicle, then a bone colour one over the top of that, you get a darker and lighter dust effect. And chipping with a sponge. Chipping with a sponge is brilliant. So you take the piece of sponge, very dark brown paint, dab it onto the paint, remove a lot of it off, almost like a dry brush, and then start dabbing it.
Sorry, go on ahead.
And then start applying it. I have quite a few videos online somewhere of doing chipping effects and stuff like that. I think they're on Backstage on Beasts of War. But those are the basic steps, and you'll find that the look of the vehicles and stuff will improve immediately from adding those little bits and little pin washes and dry brushes and stuff onto it.
And end scene.
Yep.
Cool. Fantastic. Okay. This one here. Oh no, wait. Oh, there. Switching scenes maniacally. Class, let's go on to our next project here. And this is...
Oh, look, knights.
Oh, yes. This stuff is beautiful. I'm like immediately going to put a skill on this because these are Ducal Knights. Or am I getting this wrong?
Ducal Household.
Ducal Household Knights. And just look at this guy here. I love it because it's purple.
Yeah.
But you might be able to...
I love it because of the weathering.
Okay, so talk me through some of the weathering here. We've seen it just in the...
It's dark. He's got like discolored metal and stuff going on. Like see around the edges of the shoulders and stuff. It's all a little discolored. I'm not sure what his base color actually is, because the way the light's hitting it, he obviously has a warm light bulb shining onto the front of it, which is giving it these sort of yellowish sort of glints here and there.
Yeah. Fantastic. Let's see if we can get another picture here.
Yeah.
You can see the light just on this side here.
Yeah. But he's done a very sort of muted metal look which I really like. And then he's accented it with all these really bright brasses and coppers and stuff onto the details.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean when you're going with a very dark color scheme, and you want your eye to be drawn to something. Well, the top of the plasma coils on the big cannon bring you in, and then the brass keeps your eyes in and around the weapon and keeps it in and around all those other details.
Fantastic, that's amazing. And this is a different model? Or
This is the smaller little knight, baby knight.
I love that. I'm just wondering how it's standing up on one leg when most of its weight, I imagine, is...
They're not a very
there.
heavy model.
No heavy model, so it's just that's just the one point of contact there.
It's very cool. He's gone to some effort to use the green stuff and reposition them to give them a little bit more sort of dynamism, which is really nice.
Yeah, because technically when you get this model new, it should stand with both its legs like that on the base.
Oh, so he's...
But who is it that done that?
Reposed it, yeah. Hearn, I believe, is the character. The guy.
Yeah. Hearn's cut and reposed this leg and posed the toes and the feet, so it looks like it's mid-stride and stuff like that. It's nice to get a bit of vision in like that and sort of go, well, let's make something different.
Yeah, it's a little bit more dynamic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love so what I like on the chainsaw here is it's kind of striped black and purple. It's almost like if you had like a hazard symbol with like striped black and yellow, but he's like, I'll just go with the color scheme here.
You're going to know what this is. It's a giant chainsaw. Of course you don't walk near it when it's moving.
Exactly. Oh no, it's in my chest. Oh no. Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, as Genuine Vision says in the comments as well, pins are a godsend when it comes to doing this kind of thing as well, because it means that you've got a lot of rigidity around the model, even when it's doing something a little bit more balletic, I suppose. So
Fantastic. Cool. Another model here. This looks like a flamethrower on the right hand side.
It's what's called a melt-a-gun.
Ooh.
It's like the ultimate version of a hairdryer.
Great. So is it like kind of like hair drying your face off with your skin melting? Or?
Yeah. It's meant to do the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing to the side of a tank.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, what's that? I've seen the image of like the face melting off a person, and that's what I was thinking of.
Raiders.
Fantastic. So we've got a kind of portable Ark of the Covenant there. Great. Oh, awesome. I love it.
pretty much. Yeah.
These are absolutely stunning. Oh, there's more. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, he's done one of the what is the company that makes these again, Ben?
So that is the Dreamforged Leviathan that he has added converted inquisitorial bits to. So as you can see, he's got the insignia on the shoulders and the knees and stuff as well. So the thing that I really liked about this is the like, I quite like the model overall. I think it's very cool. I like the fact that he's got like a realistic skull in there as well. So it almost feels like it's almost maybe this was the head of some giant creature that they've now used to make the rest of the walker, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I really like the shell casings that are on the base at the bottom.
Yeah.
I could imagine them almost being actual shell casings. But I love the idea that you can see like the spent ammo from the gun that's been fired and stuff. It's really cool.
Brilliant.
The only thing that I would do to change it, I think, is that I like the sort of stepping forward motion of it, but I think having maybe the arms off to slightly to the side, as if it was like focusing on a target, would be a little bit more of an interesting pose for it. I know it's a little harder to do with the Dreamforged kit, but it's very nice all the same. That's the only thing I would change about it, is a little bit of the posing, I think. So,
I'm Ben. I'm pretty sure those are real shell casings.
Oh, really?
They look like it.
They look like .22 caliber.
Okay,
I bet.
How big is this model?
This model's about
wow,
about 11 inches. We have two of them in here.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
So you can have a look at them after.
So this could be real shell casings.
I think those are .22s. Gianna is in the chat, so she might be able to confirm that with me.
Cool. And then we got another one here.
Oh, such a good model.
Look at the pose on that.
That's purposeful.
You see, that's the kind of thing I like, though. Yeah.
It's a paladin, this one, isn't it? We're looking at now, I think, with the rotary gun and the rapid fire battle cannon.
Yeah. It may also have some of the additional, like Forge World bits on it, like the rocket launcher on the top, I think, as well, maybe.
Is that a Forge World?
I'm not sure, because I know they did a whole bunch of stuff that was used as additional parts and stuff for your knights. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm also going to say that I think that Gatling gun on it is actually the Dreamforge rotary cannon.
Oh, right.
I think that's it. Okay. I think because the GW one just looks more like a big standard Gatling gun with like all the barrels.
Like an autocannon,
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm noticing just the weathering just on the shoulder blades here and on the top, but the insignia is a lot brighter. Is it just the light that's shining on it, or is that just a conscious choice to make this insignia just on the...
It's
to the right
potentially lighting.
Okay.
But I say it might also be a choice that the weathering he just hasn't weathered over that just as much as the rest.
Okay.
But his weathering style is more on the plate edges,
Yes.
so on the outer edges of stuff, or like on the bottom of the legs. It's more everywhere because that's where there's going to be a lot of debris impacting it and stuff like that.
Excellent. These models are phenomenal. Oh, I love this. There's like 2 railguns or 2 sniper rifles just on the... That's fantastic.
I'm going to have to get me some of those. I like the look of them. There's 2 of them behind me in a box, but...
Oh, wow. Yeah, those models are really cool. I don't usually like big mech. I think, okay, so for me,
stuff.
mechs are stupid. I'm going to throw that out there, right? And we can have a big fight. People are going to call me blasphemous.
The internet
in the
cries
comments.
out in pain.
That's it. Pacific Rim fans are like, get the hell out, bring us back Lance. Alright, I'm not a big fan of mechs.
Okay.
I think mechs are a bit silly.
Okay.
Right.
I can kind of live with this. Go on.
This is awesome. I don't know if this is technically a mech, but I love the...
It is a mech.
Yeah. It's the kind of head just jutting forward from the rest of the body. It's so weird.
It's that you're looking at it with that big slope that
Yeah.
comes down. It has that sort of almost a beetle-esque sort of look to it, an
Yeah.
animalistic sort of look.
Yeah, it's very different, very strange, and I love it. So I'm gonna... beautiful. Gonna give that a skill, and then I'm gonna quickly look at the comments to see how I'm getting slayed. Strike that man. Oh no! Heretic. Makes it horribly silly, that's why they're great. Tom Papelier has my back. What the hell is this? Lance! It's me, Lance! Fantastic. Alright, shall we move on to the next project?
Yeah, go for
Ignore all the...
it. Ignore Lance wondering what you're doing here.
Exactly. I'm messing up your show, Lance. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. We're on to Lloyd's.
Lloyd's project he didn't want us to show until next week, but we insisted.
We insisted. Ben, you have also heavily insisted on this.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to show it off because I know that Lloyd does a lot of really good work when it comes to his Saga stuff, and obviously yes, he talks about it a lot. But Jesus, he talks about it a lot. Almost as much as I talk about Burrows and Badges. Jesus. But I thought it was really nice showing off the way that he's been working on the horse, because he finished off the work on the horse there, which I think is looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
and
great.
the work that's going into the basing for this is just like that nice step above what a lot of people do, which I think is really nice. And I just wanted to show off that he's done really nice. I mean, look at all the paints that he's using for this. It's great.
Stunning.
But yeah, some really nice work on the horse there in the basing, and if you scroll back through there as well, you'll see that he's done a lot of work on painting different styles of horses, working on some conversion bits and bobs as well, which is really nice. And then he's got some nice reference images too. So hopefully we get to see some more images of like how this army looks when it's all finished off and stuff. Because I know that he's got a lot of finished miniatures as well, so I'd really like to see that together there. So yeah.
He's been learning a lot with the Saga stuff. Like,
Yeah.
he's been neck deep in conversion work and sculpting and all sorts of stuff.
I hear a door opening.
Oh no, it's fine. It's safe.
We're safe.
It
We're
wasn't
safe.
Lloyd.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. There's so much detail in the base. Like I don't just in this picture.
I mean,
it's unbelievable.
When you talk to Lloyd about this sort of stuff, when he's talking about his Saga stuff, you can tell that the man's a graphic designer by nature.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
describing everything in minute detail. The only thing that's missing from the conversation is the color code number that you would get in Photoshop.
Perfect. Awesome.
But superb work.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how the whole, like you say, Ben, the whole lot looks, because
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of his pictures of battles on the tabletop and stuff, but it's really nice to see some close-up stuff of the Warband in its entirety and things. So get on that, Lloyd.
Cool. All right. What we got next? We have
Irish Steve.
from Genuine Vision.
Yep. So this is Irish Steve. This is something he's been working on for quite a while.
Yeah.
We've come back to it a couple of times in the past to see how it's been doing and stuff, and I think this is nearly finished, I would assume.
Okay.
And I love the tattoo work.
Yeah.
The tattoo work is just so good.
Yeah, this was a model that he'd been working on a couple of months ago as well. We saw it pop up in some of the stuff we were doing back in Hobby Hangout then. But I think everything has come together really nicely with the skin and everything like that. And as you say, that tattoo works fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way the eyes have come out as well. Like, if you look very closely, you can actually see like the little changes in colour within the eye and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's particular shades of blue. What I quite like, because I work in a clothes shop, is the different colours throughout the fur. So like at the tips it's kind of a darker colour, but when you go deeper into the fur and the coat, it's lighter cream white colour. That's really nice.
I almost thought you were going to point out the infeasibility of that coat sitting the way it's sitting.
Yes, yes, that coat should not exist at the point it's existing, most certainly, but I'm going to pick out the positives here. That coat ain't hanging off anything. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's super glued on. Maybe. But it's amazing detail on the fur. It's really cool. Yeah, awesome. Oh, and the eyeshadow was great as well.
Yeah, I just noticed that difference in shade.
Just in this picture here. Fantastic.
I've just shared a link with you on in the Google Doc, Ryan. It's Lance trying to show off where he's been walking.
Oh, phenomenal!
That link may work if you're on Facebook, so it should be okay.
See how we
you can open it in a different tab and see if it works or something. But,
let's see how we go here. Oh, beautiful! Yeah, I saw this the other day. Yeah,
hell of a view. Yeah,
absolutely stunning. So Lance climbed this mountain. I saw this on Instagram, and 10 out of 10 impressed.
So
absolutely
yeah,
beautiful.
Lance has been venturing up into the mountains.
Yeah.
So, on his week off.
Yeah, his week off. Absolutely stunning. That's County Fermanagh for you. Absolutely beautiful countryside. Fantastic.
I know you can't quite see it in the live view, but I love the fact that it's all this beautiful untamed countryside, and then there's someone who's just built this wooden path all the way through it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's clearly because someone walked up there and was like, "Oh God, this would be so much easier if there were stairs."
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you really, in reality, they were thinking, "Oh, we can just make this a little path. Just carve it out in the black stone stuff they put down for little pathways."
Yeah.
And someone from health and safety came along and went, "No,
need a handrail for that, I'm afraid."
You need to put a handrail on that, and it needs to be sure that you can't fall off.
Yeah. You need to sand off those edges to make
sand off the edges,
yeah,
make sure there's no splinters. And I bet every step has got the yellow and black hash line.
Oh yeah,
it looks like that one might.
Exactly, just here.
I found out that yesterday in another piece of interesting health and safety trivia that goalposts used to be square. They didn't used to be rounded, so a lot of people would smash their head against goalpost, and it was very deadly indeed. So there we go.
Wow. Have you been
And
watching
now
the
they're
World
round.
Cup?
I was
been watching the travesty that is the between game talks that they've been doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's on ITV. For anyone who doesn't know, ITV are terrible at presenting the football.
They're
but anyway,
they're the worst. I mean, BBC are just a little bit better with their England coverage, but not by much. Yeah.
But yeah, I was painting some stuff up yesterday while watching England in the background and watching everybody lose their mind. So
yes, were you also losing your mind, Ben?
I didn't think I was going to get invested in it, but I was soon invested in it, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. This is just like what it was like when I was 10. This is a travesty. Everyone's falling over and clutching their heads all the time.
That's it. I don't want to divert from.
Yeah, we've been told to get on with it.
Too much. Oh, get on with it.
Yeah.
But happy. I see. I previously didn't like the England team, but it's a nice bunch of guys with Harry Kane and Marcus Rashford.
I still don't care.
Raheem Sterling, except the one exception. But anywho, fur coats.
They're
class.
They're just overpaid ball shepherds.
Fur coats and tits. There we go.
Yeah. In submission.
that's the subtitle of the hobby hangout for today. But no, I again, it's fantastic. It's really nice seeing people working on more, to use the phrase, busts. Like it's really nice seeing them come together. I've got one that Jerry gave me when I was over for a boot camp. I think the last boot camp we did, and it's this one of like a troll slayer, and I really want to get stuck into it because I've never painted on anything on that scale before. But it's all about working out the right way to approach it. And the thing is, it's undercoated in black, but I think I'm going to try and do it in. I'm going to try and go over it again with a grey or a white. I think because black working up with skin and light orange could be quite a problem. I think so. I'm going to try and just a little bit different with it. But if it comes off, then I will show it off and see how it'll come together. So.
Good luck, because I've painted 2 busts in my time and I hate both of them.
Is it just the length of time it takes to?
No, it's.
You can see all the things you've messed up very easily.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, you can point out every mistake. I did one for War Daddy from Fury, the tank commander from Fury. I did a bust of him, and I was like, "This is really cool," because it's essentially just Brad Pitt with a friggin' jacket on. And I was like, "This is cool." And I was like, "No, I need to make him look a bit more grimy and dirty." And as I started to do that, I started to use oils with acrylics, and I was like, oh, "This is going really well." Then I tried to do his eyes. And then I gave up because his eyes actually look more dead than the cloth that his jacket's made from. So.
Phenomenal.
Anyway, onwards,
friends. Class. Yes, I was admiring this earlier.
Chaos Gorka.
I love his profile picture as
It
well.
is really
As a
cool.
beholder. That's awesome.
Classic D&D monster there.
Yeah, very much so.
But yes, this is Lilith from Malifaux.
Okay, fantastic.
And I wanted to pick this one out because not only did it show off again like the idea of using the darker colours and bringing them up so that they actually have a little bit of nuance to them, but I just thought the attention to detail across the model as a whole was just fantastic. And it's a very nice like way of painting a model that it's gone beyond that step of like just standard tabletop quality. But not too far, so it does not feel like it's just a single piece by itself. But it's very nice. It's very nice. It works at like that next step up from tabletop quality, as I was saying.
What do you think about the because the clothes are like blue, green, and red from like that kind of color theory wise? Like, what do you think about that, John? Is there some, or are they muted enough that it doesn't really matter that maybe say one of them clashes with the other?
I would honestly say that if you had this miniature down on a table playing a game, the first thing that's going to draw your attention is your feet. That brightest bit of red.
Big old red boots.
Yeah, big old red boots bring you in, and that gives you a chance because you are quite literally going to start at the feet and work your way up and see the different colours coming together and how the skin tones work.
Yeah.
What really gets my attention is the blade, and the blade because it is so simple, and it's really effectively done. It looks essentially to be black with a bit of a silver line as a highlight, and that works really well, especially from a distance, because that's all you're going to see is those glints from the silver on it.
Fantastic.
Very effective. Beautiful hair work too.
Perfect.
Yes, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I really like about the Malifaux range as a whole. Like everything that you see from Malifaux, it feels like an individual character, and because of the low model count, you put so much effort into making the model complete. So every single one of them feels like you're doing something different, which means that you don't get that kind of like rank and file blindness that you'd normally get from painting up a set of models for games.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool.
Excellent. Class. I keep on seeing these kind of bases from Wild West Exodus stuff as well. The kind of like blank bases with a little tuft of grass sprouting up. Is that just giving me a little bit?
It's a thing that many of us do.
Okay.
It's a little bit of basing sand with PVA glue. Then it's painted like a dark brown, then dry brushed a light brown, and then a little tuft of grass. It's the bare bones intro basic to basing.
Oh, okay. And what is the grass made out of, or is it just grass?
It's what the heck is it?
Oh, I believe it looks like the Great
plastic
Escape
of some
Games thing. Yeah, but it's
the actual
it
material is a polymer of some sort, isn't it?
It is,
Okay.
yeah.
This is striking stuff, guys. I imagine in the comments you're like, this conversation. What is grass made out of? Is it real grass or is it something else? Never bring Lance back, guys.
Don't say that. He's probably still watching.
I know. I'm gonna get hit when he comes back in.
Gonna get an earful next.
Yeah,
next
totally. When he's back in. Class. All right.
Oh yeah, I will. As Johnny Envision does say, a lot of them, the Malifaux models are very, very nice, but they can be incredibly fiddly. Like, for example, I bought one of the sets for the guild, I believe it was, and her face mask was separate from the rest of her head.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is just insane. So you have to have patience.
Okay.
I used to own a couple of the Malifaux sets before they started doing the plastics and the metals, and I had Lady Justice, and it was her form where she was doing like the ultimate attack, whatever it is, where she had the two things coming out of her hands, and her wrist joints were more fragile than the pieces of metal that she was holding. And I was like, why? Because if I sneeze on this, she is going to, like, her wrists are going to break, and she looks like she's going to be firing two flamethrowers out either side of her, which are in the shape of two burbs for some reason. And it freaked me out because I just didn't want to touch the model because I knew that was going to break every time.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the plastics so much. I can deal with fiddly plastics over fragile metals any day. So have we moved on to some Star Wars Legion here?
We have moved on to something. What are we seeing here, Ben?
Yeah, so this was Ollie P, who had finished off this really nice set of Star Wars Legion Snowtroopers. And it shows that even though, a lot of white going on there, if that's white, that looks realistic. It looks like proper battlefield white. The way that the snow has come across on the basing is really good as well. I think it's really nice.
Yep.
So how do you...
and even though you've got...
Sorry, go on ahead.
Effectively matte black. Even though they're effectively matte black, they look fantastic.
Yeah. When you're painting something like these snowtroopers that are white cream snow color, what are you thinking of most? Is it highlights mostly so that you can draw out the color a bit more? So how do you...
It's the contrast that's most important here, because anybody could paint a white stormtrooper or a snowtrooper and say, that's it, that's done. Paint the gun black, that's it.
Yeah.
What you have to realise as well when you're starting to look into reference images and stuff, because I nearly don't paint anything now without some form of reference image. Snowtroopers have very little white on them, apart from the actual armor plates and bits of their helmet.
Yeah.
The rest of it is this off-white, this creamy colour.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is airbrush the white on, and the white's done.
Yeah.
And then you just go in and find these off-white areas, paint them in, and then give it a wash. And that's essentially all I did for the snowtroopers we have in here.
Yeah, because I find the boots on them are quite interesting, because to me, with my terrible eyesight, it looks as if it's some sort of animal hide that they've got around it, so which points to a more resourceful, dug-in stormtrooper than, say, the kind of heavily regimented off an assembly line stormtrooper we might expect. So that's like kind of interesting. We've got like an embedded troop.
It's nice, and then again from the tabletop perspective, that is a nice form of contrast, because again you have all this like off-white and white, which are quite close together in this case, and then they have the boots, and then that really draws your attention away and really breaks that stormtrooper-esque sort of feel.
Yeah.
Very clean white, whereas these guys aren't, clearly.
Class.
So they have to say on the matter.
Excellent. That's all I have to say about that.
And that is my opinion.
Channeling Forrest Gump there. That's all I got to say.
Lance has said he's going to drive in there and smack us if he needs to. So there we go.
Aye, John, you better, clean your act up. Insulting Lance and saying he should never come back. Like, this is unprofessional. Clearly. And Lance is going to have no more of it. Alright, you're on your last warning.
This is clearly entirely my fault.
Yeah, totally.
Or if I recall right, it was Warren that burst in this morning and said, Ryan and John, you're doing the hobby hangout today, right? We were both like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Totally. 10 out of 10, would love to. What's a hobby hangout? Ooh. This is Soul War stuff.
Dr. Ether, our friend, Chris
Yeah.
that comes in and does all our Kingdom Death.
Oh my
Videos.
god in Himmel.
Yeah, he's a pretty good painter.
This is, oh my goodness, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is the commander from the Soul Wars box from Games Workshop. So this is the Night Haunt leader side of it.
He's the Knight of Shrouds, I think is
Yeah, the
he's
Knight of
like
Shrouds.
the upgrade of him, isn't it, from the
Yeah.
Malign Portents version?
Yeah.
So.
What are
But
you
yeah,
looking for?
like he was saying earlier, because we were talking about black, obviously, and he was talking about how he's done black here, and you can see that it's got like tones of purple to it and blue and everything like that as well.
Yeah.
And the way I love the way that it fades away into the like baleful like blues and greens. I think it's phenomenal. It's absolutely fantastic.
I'm actually gonna, if
If this works.
if this works, if my Sensei Lance is with me in spirit, and this works, we're gonna have a close up of this in Photoshop. All right, which one is Photoshop? The one that
That
says
one.
Photoshop. It's not working.
Is that a blank screen, or is the image just off to one side?
Who knows? If I,
You did.
where am I go? Hang on, if I zoom out and then do this, no, I don't think it's gonna work. That's a shame.
I thought we had it working.
I thought we did too. But we'll carry on with this because I'd love for y'all to see the kind of greens at the bottom. It's absolutely stunning.
I saw the model. I saw the picture pop up there when you were on
Really?
Photoshop there.
Really?
I did, yeah.
Somewhere.
It was off to the side on the right. So.
Okay.
Right, so what you need to do now is reduce the size of this window.
Yes.
So you can.
Yes.
And now you can.
Oh, there
it
we
is.
go. Oh my goodness, guys, we did it. It was a team effort. It was a team effort, and I'm so proud of
Yay!
us. So here we go. Let's zoom out a wee bit more and take a look at this. That is absolutely beautiful, and we've got some skulls at the bottom.
Of course.
Because of course we do. But oh my goodness, even the model and the kind of rotting flesh off that, so you can see the white of the rib cage, but it's covered by that kind of blue translucent flesh. That's amazing. This is such good work.
You find Chris that everything he puts his hand to is amazing. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of the Kingdom Death stuff he painted when he was in here with us is superb.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Is that Chris that does the Kingdom Death Monster Let's Plays for us?
Yes.
Ah, right. Okay, very good.
Chris of Darker Days Radio.
Yes. This is so good. And this because when I see Soul Wars stuff, all I think about is something Lance posted or retweeted on Twitter, which was the kind of. It was from this faction, and it was them holding Tesco bags.
Yes.
I love that.
Going
love that picture
shopping
so
for
much.
spirits. Yeah.
Shopping for spirits. That was phenomenal. Absolutely wonderful picture. But that was, which one was that? Hellbound Flesh. That was.
Highlighted with.
Highlight
what
with
he's
it.
talking
Oh yeah,
about,
that's the
paints
miniature.
used.
Yeah. And then this one here.
This guy, which is still a work in progress.
Work in progress. Absolutely stunning.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, even the model itself, like, I remember on the unboxing video for this, you were talking about the point of contact and like.
It's very minute.
Yeah. Is there, for this model in particular, is there any danger of it? Just like how easy is it that this could break?
Very.
Yeah. So you have to be very
Because
delicate with
it
it.
could break where the ghosty thing joins the main body of it there, and it could break where this part of the axe is really thin.
Okay.
And goodness knows, it could probably break several other places. It's a real case of being careful with it.
Yeah. But
Chris says this is pretty much all washes and glazes that
Yeah.
he's been using to work up this. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great.
fantastic.
Something else we'll have to teach you what a wash and a glaze are.
Yeah, I I'm throwing out highlights there, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like it could be right, but washes and glazes, no idea. Do you want to take me through what a wash is, at least?
Later.
Later? A glaze later?
Yeah.
Later. Okay. Join us in sometime later when we'll talk.
He's gonna teach you what washes are, and you're gonna glaze over.
Awesome. Fantastic.
All right, we have a couple more things to cover, and then I think we can call it a day. So.
Yeah. So the last one that we've got here,
So,
I believe, is
Alfonso?
Mistress Yai.
Alfonso
Yeah.
the Traitor.
Yeah. So he's been doing a lot of fantastic stuff with his Samurai project for a while now. And this is all for like Test of Honor and things like that, and larger games beyond that too. But this was just fantastic because not only shows this leader figure in Mistress Yai there, but also that sort of stampeding cavalry and everything as well going through. Yeah. And the basing looks fantastic. It's really nice to see those red and yellows carrying over as well, which is quite a nice, and it feels like almost a quite typical like warm color for Japanese warriors as well, which is really cool. And then the other thing that I like is that he's taken pictures of the models in situ for this post as well. So
he's creating a mini diorama for the photography.
He's created the diorama around it to show off the models in its own way, which is really cool.
There's a question, like when you're painting any of these models, especially if you're putting them in a diorama like this, when you're painting the colors, are you ever thinking about the terrain that you're putting them in, or the terrain that you're going to be playing them on? Does that ever come into it? No, it's just the models themselves.
Just the models,
because they'll be played amongst or on a bunch of different terrain.
Yeah.
I love this picture here. This is absolutely brilliant.
It tends. I think for me, it tends to depend on kind of the theme that you're going with for your army. Like that can be a big part of like how you do basing and that kind of, and how you design their clothing as well, and like what paint styles you use and that kind of thing. But then another thing is kind of like a standard, because I find that you'll see a lot of people anyway will usually base their things with grass and some dirt. Because most gaming tables are grass and dirt.
Brilliant.
So that's more or less the like default. More or less.
Okay. Fantastic. This is great.
What I like to see.
What range they're from?
That's Test of Honor.
Test of Honor.
Warlord.
We've got a Phantom Lloyd.
And there's a Phantom Lloyd hanging over here.
But yeah, what I've really liked is the way that a lot of historical games now, and maybe they did it beforehand as well, they have very, very shallow, thin bases, so that it feels, and we've talked about this before in Hobby Hangout, it feels like the models are one with the tabletop that you're playing on, so that there's not that delineation between tabletop and model.
I feel like
they're not plinth, as Lloyd would
Yeah,
do it.
they're not plinth.
Yeah, they're not playing.
They're not plinth.
I feel like we just stepped into like a scene in the Matrix. Like the model is not one with the base class. You just got
Unagi.
Yeah, Unagi salmon skin roll. You just got all Morpheus on us there, Ben. Fantastic.
But yeah, this was a project we glanced at a couple of times before, but clearly Ben decided you needed to see this project yourself. So
yeah.
I wanted to get back and show that off because I thought it was really good. So.
Beautiful. It's fantastic, and there's a lot of time that's been put into not just painting them, but the posing them as well. And this, as you say, this diorama, like there's so many shots here and so many variations.
Actual choreography going on in this.
Very much so, and he's thought about all of his angles. It's fantastic.
There's Tom Cruise in the background.
I was going to say, I'm sure that there are better movies, but it gives you a kind of feel of that Last Samurai thing, as the samurai charging out the woods.
That's just what Lloyd was saying. Yeah, you can see maybe Tom Cruise in the background here.
No, it'll be Gerald Butler in the background.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah.
Fantastic. That is our last project.
That is.
Yeah.
So, shall we call it a day?
Now, I wanted to just quickly point out that we looked at some stuff here that was from the projects, but we also looked at some stuff that was from the What Are You Painting Now and the forums as well. And we will continue to do that kind of thing going forward. We'll mix things together and we'll show some things off from both the projects and in the forums as well. So wherever you're posting stuff, we are looking at it and we are, taking it on board, and your stuff is not getting lost in one section or the other. So don't worry about that. So
we are watching. What are you doing?
Oh,
there you go.
Changing to here. I got it. Don't worry. I may have misclicked.
Okay.
But it'll never happen again.
Probably.
Yeah. Great. One last time, I will bring up the terrain competition. So this is the End Is Nigh competition in partnership with Foreground, where they're offering 4 £50 vouchers and it's a post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic theme in 4 categories: best idea, best skill, best tutoring, and junior. So that ends on the 31st of August if you want to enter.
Yep.
And I've already heard of 2 really great ideas from both you and Ben.
And remember to post, if you're entering that, to post it into the project, and then put a link through to, there's going to be, I think there already is a forum topic, if someone can confirm that to me, of where the people are posting those links to their projects to be judged. And buy merch.
And buy merch, yes. I hear there's a merch plug.
There is somewhere.
Somewhere? Oh, do you mean on this bit here?
Yeah, there it is.
So
there you go.
Ah, yeah. So, if you really want to impress your granny, you can join...
You're not going to get this, right, are you?
No, not in the slightest.
No, that's fine.
Because I'm going to look at this. You can join backstage. You have a 7-day free trial, and you get all of these amazing goodies. Because I can't read what they are. Because my eyes are so bad. Yeah. Do you want to impress your granny, John? Buy all this piece of war merch?
I don't have any.
Oh, well. Moving on.
Just thought I'd sink that one straight away.
I'm going to get a Percy pig just to
make yourself feel better.
Make myself feel better.
Anyway, guys, as every week, thank you very much for tuning in and spending the last hour and a half-ish with us. We are absolutely boiled in here because it is incredibly warm, and because I'm slightly pudgier than him, I'm feeling it worse than he is. Not that it matters, he's got so much energy anyway, it doesn't matter.
I didn't even dance today.
No, you haven't even danced.
I've only dabbed once or twice, that's it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, if you want to come on over to Beasts of War and drop your projects in there, get them all up to date. If you have stuff that you've done but not updated your projects, go ahead and do that. We'll be checking those out for our next week's show as well, which will be at the same time. Quite possibly with Lance back in the chair.
I mean,
unless he decides that you're so good that he's just going to go on holiday again.
If the popular vote wants me back in, which I'm sure it will, it will, then I will of course kick Lance out.
We're going to take you on a painting journey, right? So we're going to teach you how to paint. You're going to keep coming back on periodically and showing off your stuff. So
yeah, I'm going to finally figure out what a glaze is.
His first step, though, really, Ben, if you'll agree with me on this, is to sit him down to Warhammer TV and make him watch all of Duncan's.
Yeah, you can watch Duncan and get all the memes and everything.
Yeah,
brilliant.
The 2 thin coats, man.
I look forward to this.
Where it is.
Not at all.
Hashtag 2 thin coats. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, hanging out with us, and giving us your feedback in the chat, and checking out all your amazing projects on Beasts of War and through the forums and the project system. So, yes, all the Duncan Aurora. Thank you, Lena. You monsters. I think that will do us for today. So if you have any other goodbyes you wish to say.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today, guys. It's been really fun and putting up with me. Yeah, this has been a great learning experience. I love you all very much. And thank you, John, for taking me through this. And Ben, obviously.
No worries.
Yeah,
the ghostly voice of Birmingham.
The ghostly Brummy.
Don't go too far, I'll be right back.
That's great, yeah.
Alright, so goodbye everybody, take care, and we will see you next week.
Doodles!